So yeah, bro, I appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Respect. So like, just to start, like tell us where you're from, what you do.
So I was born and raised in Montreal, Canada. Um, I cut hair originally. I started when I was 15. Yeah, and I never knew it would be a career for me. It was just something that I was too broke to afford a haircut, and I started cutting my own hair. Then people started asking me to cut their hair, and it just became like one of those passions. I didn't realize that I could get paid for it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll take it seriously.
Damn.
And yeah, they started off in high school, and then it just grew from there.
Sick.
Yeah.
And did you like have somebody that mentored you through the process in the beginning?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah?
Back then, my cousin had a friend in high school that opened a barbershop,
Okay.
which he knew, Will.
Yeah,
Quality
Will.
Cuts.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, he took me under his wing. Before that, there was another shop called Lace Up. Started training there, but I didn't take it too seriously because I was going to school. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that. And yeah, I kind of had to stop cutting hair because of school. And the worst thing I did was not tell Will, the owner of the shop,
That you were gonna stop?
That I was gonna stop.
Oh.
I just completely stopped. So I kind of burnt the bridge there for a bit, and then I found out that he opened up his own shop. And then I reached out to him like, "Yo, bro, this time I'm gonna take it seriously." And yeah, he took me in, man. And honestly, he was one of my mentors. That actually like one of the best like barbers to actually learn from.
Damn.
And yeah, so I started with
Nice.
it. Yeah.
So like, that's pretty sick. You must have been just a kid back then when you were like, just decided to stop
Yeah.
out of nowhere. And I think that's like, big respect to Will of like, he definitely saw something in you to be like, okay, I'm still gonna take a chance on him even though he
Yeah.
kind of like ghosted.
Yeah.
And it's things like mistakes that we all make at times. And
Yeah.
I think that's like so amazing to have a mentor in your life to be able to give you those opportunities and those things.
Absolutely.
Is there like, have you taken on that mentorship position now today in your career with anybody?
Like training people, like mentoring people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But all these mentoring, it's things that I've learned from other people.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's knowledge that I've built through the years and what I try to pass on. And I had different venues. It wasn't just barbering. I was in like a multi-level marketing business, and that actually helped me just become an entrepreneur because there's things that I learned in that multi-level marketing business where I would have never learned back in school.
Really? Like what? Like what kind of?
In terms of public speaking, I was the worst in at school. I would skip all my oral presentations because I was afraid to speak in public.
Wow.
Yeah, so I hated doing that, but that taught me to just actually public speak. Like,
Yeah.
don't be scared, don't be afraid, and to network, and where to put your money, how to save your money. And I met all these different successful people in that industry that actually helped me out through life. And I brought that into my barbering career.
And do you feel like because I also used to be scared of public speaking.
Yeah.
But I find that when I would teach a dance class, for example, I had no trouble speaking to a group of like 50, 100 people.
Yeah.
Do you think it has anything to do also with the fact that you genuinely enjoyed what you were doing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going back to that multi-level marketing thing, it was something I wasn't passionate about. It's just something I knew that I had to do in order to become successful. And I was so uncomfortable doing some stuff for it. But eventually, I got eased into it. But I can't compare it to barbering because barbering is a flow. I already know about it. I've been doing it for years. And to me, showing somebody how to cut hair or even just about barbering, it comes out more natural.
It's a passion.
It's a passion.
Yeah. You can speak about it forever.
Forever.
That's
yeah.
insane. And what made you like really want to take this to the next level? Like, you were working like at Quality Cuts. What made you decide like, I think it's time for me to start my own business and really take that jump?
I've always wanted to open up my own space, but I was in a good space already, good environment. And I just realized like I just needed to take the leap of doing my own thing. Like who knows? Like I'm like, oh, like what if I fail? What if blah, blah, blah. But in life, there's always going to be a time where you can fail. You don't know what the outcome is. The most important thing is that you dip your toe in water and fucking just do it.
Yeah.
Sorry for the swearing.
No, you're good.
Yeah. And I just took the leap. Like people think it's so easy to start a business.
To be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, like you see all these successful people on social media, but nobody knows what's going behind the background. Like there's a lot of things that are going on, and there's stuff that I'm struggling with today, but it doesn't stop me because it's the whole entrepreneurship game is it's a process, and you're gonna fail eventually. But that's the beauty of entrepreneurship. You have the ability to have control of your own time and do your own work, and you have no one to tell you what to do. You, whatever's in your brain and you want to create, you got the freedom to do it. Yeah.
Damn. And do you feel like do you have anybody that backs you in those moments, that, you know, when something's tough and you're like your back's against the wall in any given moment, you know, you have to, because especially you as a barber, the next day you have to go and see your clients, or like something might just happen, you have to speak to somebody for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
You know, do you have a team with you that helps you through the hard times, or is it just, do you do this alone?
Oh, absolutely, man. So the people that I shared my space with, Marcus and Aska, those guys, actually I go to when I have trouble, and they're easy to talk to. They're so down to earth. And yeah, those kind of guys that are in my environment, like, we're not shy to talk to each other. And I find that important too, to find those people that you can actually rely on and like talk to and be comfortable with. And like off topic, man, I think that's like, as men, it's so hard for us guys to open up to things, and mental health is true.
It's real.
It's real.
But why do you think that is? As men, it's hard for us to, because I agree with you.
I think I don't know how it is in your culture, but in our culture, like when we would tell our parents, you're feeling a certain way, all they would say like, oh no, don't worry, you'll sleep it off. You know, what are you talking about? But in reality, like, there was one time in my life, like happened a couple months ago, where I felt anxiety for the first time. And I never knew that anxiety felt that way, because I was never the type to show emotions. Why? Because like, as men, you don't want to show that you have any weakness. But later in life, that all builds up, and eventually you're gonna snap.
You hold it in for too long.
You hold it in for too long because you're not talking about your real feelings to people. And the moment that I just let it out and actually talk to my friends, to guys, you know, some people would say, oh, that's so corny, talking about your feelings. But no, it's important to talk about your feelings, because after that happened, the weight off of my shoulders just dropped.
Wow.
And it just showed me that, like, it doesn't matter if you think you're alpha male, like, you should talk about your feelings and just get through it. Because, and yeah, like, it helps just talking about things. So going back to like the people in my environment, it was easy to talk to them because I just realized they went through the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you're not alone.
I'm not alone.
Wow.
But all this time I thought like, oh no, like this guy might judge me or whatever. People like might talk bad because of a certain way. Because ideally everybody thinks like, oh, he's doing all right, he's doing okay. But no, because you don't talk about it, it's like you just built it in and like, who the hell do I talk to? Yeah.
That's interesting. So, you know, going off your point of kind of assuming that somebody's okay, when do you think is a good time to maybe check up on a friend, just like casually at any given time, of just like, hey, are you good? Like, because sometimes, like you say, like, you know, on the outside you might show that you're okay, but you never really know what what somebody is going through. And that's something that, you know, as dancers we talk about, like in the studio, of just telling somebody like, hey, you did a good job today. You know, and that can be like in any context. You never know what that might mean to that person. You know, so I feel like people just always assume that everybody's okay at all times, or we always get so caught up in our problems that we don't realize like, okay, maybe this person needs me more than I need them in this moment. You know, is there an example or a time that like somebody has reached out to you, or you reached out to somebody that you realized they made a difference in the situation?
Yeah, there are a few times where people came to me and I actually like gave them good advice, and they thanked me for it, and that also made me realize like I should be asking people, like I should be sharing stuff, like I should be seeking for help if I need to talk to someone about it. And I there's no perfect time or right time to ask if your friend's okay or not. Like, it just has to come from a genuine place, because we always come up to each other when we haven't, oh, what's up, how you do it like how you doing became like a hi.
It is.
It's not a generally like, yo, how are you really doing?
You have to say good.
No, you say good.
Yeah.
I would sometimes would say like how you like not even say how are you doing. I'd be like, yo, what's up? And that'll be good. Because
It's a reflex.
It's a reflex.
Wow.
That's the like we have to break that habit of just making how are you doing a norm. Like actually look them in the eye and be like, yo, bro, how you doing? And let them talk, you know, like, okay, you're good. Oh, and then you ask them questions, like, and you let them open up. But I find like just generally be there for them, and not just a quick how are you doing. Like actually sit down and talk and yeah.
It's funny because I was actually like discussing this the other day of like, you know, when somebody asks you like, hey, how you doing? It's almost weird to say anything other than good.
Yeah.
Or like sometimes you just don't want to explain yourself.
You don't want to explain, yeah.
You know, you're like, honestly, I had a bad morning, but then they're going to ask you why. And maybe you're like, I just don't want to talk about it. So I'm just going to say I'm good and put on a smile.
No, but which is fair too. Like, you're not going to explain like your whole feelings to someone you don't really know, right? And it could, like, I'm not saying that you have to express your whole feelings or whatever. Like, how are you doing could just be like, yo, I'm just checking up on you. If you're good, you're good. You know, but it's just like, I feel like some people are saying how you doing, but they're not even listening. Like
in one ear, out the other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
And, you know, what would you say, you know, connecting your emotions in the relationship, how has that impacted how you see things? Is it like, does this stem from building in your relationship has allowed you to understand your emotions deeper? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially if you're with a partner that is very independent and is very open and that doesn't judge you. Like, for example, like with my current girlfriend, I could open up to her about anything because I know that she wouldn't judge me and I could trust her. And it's not only with her, but it's just the ability to actually express how I really feel to that person. I'm like, there are other people that care about me also, like, and I shouldn't be afraid to talk in that way. So that's where I'm like, okay, I see where this is coming from. Because honestly, I opened up to my girlfriend first, and like that's when I broke down, and she eased me. She took the weight off of my shoulders. So I'm like, if I could talk about this subject to her, imagine like how I would feel if I just talked to my homies like this. And like, it's like, yo, we gotta get rid of like, yo, I'm the alpha male, like everything's good. Nothing's ever good. Yeah. It could seem like that, but deep down, and like if you carry that weight off on your shoulders for a long time, bro, it's gonna hurt you eventually, and it's gonna catch up onto you, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel the same way. Like my girlfriend has definitely impacted how I deal with my emotions. Yeah. Girls are just good with their emotions, man.
Very good. you know? Sometimes even too good.
Sometimes even too good. Yeah, and it like, I agree with you, and I think, you know, going to the point of checking up on your homies, like, especially those who aren't in a relationship and haven't had the opportunity to cross that bridge yet.
Yeah.
You know, because we're always like taught to close up or just exactly what you said, to just like be that alpha male.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
And what would you say is like, for you in a relationship, what defines the girl to be the one for you? You know?
It's, to sum everything up, I would say to be comfortable in your own skin. If that girl makes you, or a girl or man is able to make you feel comfortable in your own skin and not judge you, I find that would be your, I guess, soulmate. To give you an example, I met my girl through social media, through those dating apps, right? And at first I thought we wouldn't click because on both of our profiles, we're completely different people, different interests. And even when we sat down, when we had our first date, she was an intelligent woman. Like, she's like book smart, you know, and I'm not like that. I'm like, oh man, like I had these insecurities where I'm like,
it's a bit intimidating.
Yeah, I'm like, is she gonna find me dumb, stupid, or the things I say? Because even though she told me she felt intimidated because of how I looked and dressed and whatever, but at the end of the day, even though we had some differences, we still connected into other things in life where you don't have to have something in common all the time. We do have our certain interests, but I believe that differences plays a big important role because all the things that she has been through, has experienced through life, I'm learning from her. Okay. I'm learning all these new things. All the things that I've experienced in life, she's learning through me. So we feed off of each other rather than like us always being in the same, like I don't listen to like pop music or like ABBA and stuff, but she loves this stuff, so it gets me in that I'm like, oh, like why do you like this kind of music? And then eventually like you just catch me liking ABBA also.
You're intrigued.
Yeah, you're intrigued. So it's like, yeah, so you definitely, you'll know when you feel comfortable in your own skin. That's when
you'll know when you know.
Yeah, you'll know when you know.
This is a question that I like to ask when we talk about relationships out of curiosity. Have you heard of the 5 love languages?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which would you say you are and she is, and do you have one that's the same?
I believe we have some. Let me just point them out. So for her is quality time, acts of gesture, and gifts. Mm-hmm. And for me would be physical touch, words of endearment, and quality time, and gifts. Pretty much a lot of them.
Well, we're all a bit of each one.
Each, exactly.
I find that interesting that you guys don't have the exact same ones, because it's a common thing. It's a common thing, and it like, because me too, like my girlfriend and I, we don't have the exact same ones. Yeah. Some overlap, but it makes you, going back to the whole, learning about your emotions, it makes you have to learn more or different types of love to love the other person properly. Yeah. Which is like something you would have never explored had you not. Yeah. Right? Yeah. How's that worked out for you?
So for me, I'm not the type to converse or like have a lot of words. Like I get this a lot where, oh, Alex, like he doesn't talk too much. But recently I'm finding out that like, yo, you do talk a lot, but I had to understand with her that after days of work, like you're exhausted. Like I deal with clients every day, and I have conversations like every hour, every day. And when I come home, sometimes I'm just like, my brain is like dead. But for her, her love language is communication, talking to each other. So that was one of the hardest things that for me, it's like sometimes I come home, she's like, babe, like how come you're not talking? And sometimes I have to be like, yo, Alex, wake the fuck up. Like at least try, like talk, because she's been working the whole day. She probably missed you the whole day, and she just wants to have a small conversation. And for me, it's like, yo, stop being like that. Like, and I tell people, relationships, they all take effort. You have to put effort into it. And for me, it was like one of the hard things to do. Like, yo, Alex, get out of your mind and just talk to your girlfriend, because you haven't talked to her in the whole day.
All day.
Stop making that excuse where you came home and saying like, oh, you went through a funk or blah blah blah. And I still struggle with that sometimes. Like someone, and then like just the other night, she's like, oh babe, like talk to me. And then I'm like, okay, like I try to like click things into my head. To some people it comes naturally, but for me it's just like, it's something I have to work on. And I always tell her that, listen, I'm sorry that I act this way, but I am trying. Yeah. The most important thing is acknowledging how your partner
receives love,
and just understand their emotions. And yeah, don't neglect them.
But that's cool that you take it upon yourself to like, okay, like let me reflect in this moment. And like you talk to yourself and you're like, okay, what is she thinking right now? Because it's so easy to get caught up in like, yo, I'm tired.
It's so easy.
I had a long day. She'll understand.
Yeah. Because I'm guilty too, man. When I'm caught up like cooking or whatever, and she's telling me a story, and then I would ask her a question where she already gave me the answer. She already told me, but like I wasn't listening to her because of that brain fog. Like sometimes I don't have that quick attention that she needs, and sometimes like I have to learn too. Like sometimes like, yo,
focus,
talking, focus.
Yeah, just being more present and
more present.
Yeah. And you know what? That's really like, it's tough because like, and I'm also guilty for that as well. It's like you have to work on being present, because it's so easy to like have that conversation and get a ping from your phone and just like look real quick while you're still trying to have a conversation. Yeah. Like it takes effort to be like, let me be present in this moment and like in this conversation. Yeah. And that ties into communication. And how would you say communication is in your relationship, and how has it impacted? You know, you seem very happy in your relationship. Yeah. I'm very happy for you. Yeah. And how has that impacted you in a positive way?
I've learned a lot about myself through my current relationship right now. And yeah, I've learned a lot through my relationship in the past, but I've never been with someone that is actually just trying to bring that out of me, like making me understand the reason why I act certain ways. And for communication, like I said, it's still tough, but I'm just I'm showing her that I'm trying, I'm giving the effort. And I'm not blaming her for anything. I'm not, because sometimes you could come home and you could be like, dude, don't you understand? Like, I had a long day. And you always give that excuse, but
we all have long days.
We all had long days, and it's just, but she understands, you know? But at a certain time, if you keep repeating the same mistakes, obviously they'll be like, yo, like, come on.
Absolutely.
You know, but what I love about her is that she understands and she's patient with me also. You know, but at some point she like slaps me around and be like, yo,
get it together.
Yeah. And and I have to get it together, because it's not fair for her. And you know, and if you want this relationship to work, yeah, the most important thing is acknowledging how the other person feels.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. And you know, I heard this quote, I forget who it's by, but it says, and you must have heard it before, it says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Do you feel like, you know, your relationship has helped you excel in your business as well, having that person with you? Or do you really keep, you know, business and relationships separate? Not one doesn't impact the other?
I keep it separate in a sense where I know she has her career going on. She knows I have my career going on. I don't really understand her field in her work. Like, she'll tell me things, but like it's a bit complicated of what she does for me. In business, she's not really a business type. But we do share about like how work is going, but we don't try to get involved into each other's business unless, like, for example, my girl had this presentation that she had to do for work through Zoom, and she hates public speaking too.
Okay.
And she doesn't hate public speaking. She's pretty good at it. But the fact that she had to do it in French is like her not strong. It's not her strongest point. And I just told her, I'm like, listen, you're already good. Like, let's practice together. Or like, how can I help you? So things like that is where we could help each other in our own fields. But like, she doesn't try to interfere in my business or tell me what to do. I don't tell her how she should do her work. We respect each other's career and we help each other out.
Nice.
Like, we don't judge on anything.
Yeah.
And to be honest, she's the most supportive person in my life with business also, and she understands where, like, she understands like when I have a hard day or whatever, and it's cool like that.
Sick.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you're just there if ever you need that support.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you know, what advice would you have for somebody who's looking to also start their business, whether it be in barbering in that specific field or just in general? You know, like, I feel like you've been here for a while now in business.
Yeah. So to get in business in general, I say really find what your passion is, because there's different, you could be all types of entrepreneurs. You could be someone like, oh, this thing makes money the fastest, I'm gonna learn this, I'm gonna learn that. It'll probably make you quick money, and you'll probably, or maybe eventually while doing that you'll probably end up liking it. You know, but it's still a process. I'd say rather find your passion now, and don't do it because of money. As corny as it sounds, everyone says it, but money will follow. Like, people will be attracted to your business because they see how passionate you are to it and that you stuck through it. The moment you dip your toes in different things, people are like, yo, are you a barber, or are you a stock investor, or like, what are you? So that's what I had to figure out myself, like, what am I? Because I've been in different venues in business. Like, what is your passion? And barbering is my passion. Would I say be making me millions? No, but it's something that I'm content with. It's paying off the bills. I love my clients. I've built great relationships with them, and just the relationship alone with clients that I have is more than the money that I'm making. The reason why is that every individual that has sat in my chair taught me more than what I've learned in school.
Wow.
In
That's
terms,
amazing.
it is amazing because I've never learned about investing or where to put my money, how to make my money grow,
Damn.
about mortgages or, and all these things. But every individual that sat in my chair, all have different careers, and they all give me these free information.
That's amazing.
And without even asking them, it's just a conversation like we're having now.
Yeah.
And the topic would hit, and they would give me advice on certain topics where I'd be like, damn, I never thought about that way.
Wow. That's crazy, yeah, because the more people you have in your chair that are from different fields, the more information you can get. But you're just trying to be genuine with the person.
Yeah. Because I tell people, like, money doesn't grow on trees, but people have money.
Yeah.
Like, every individual has money. There's money to be made everywhere. And it's not just a transaction of currency or money. It's about the relationship you built with them, of what you could get out of them to make your wealth grow.
That makes sense.
So, yeah.
And you talk about, like, not dipping your toes in too many fields. Are you an advocate for, having multiple streams of income, or you're very
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have multiple streams of income, but don't forget what is bringing you in the funds.
What's your bread and butter?
Exactly. So barbering will always, as long as I have my brain, my two hands, my eyes, feet, and I could cut hair, there's nothing. You should dip your toes in different venues in making money. There's nothing wrong with that. But just know, like, what's bringing you the money for that. And I try not to mix things. Like, yeah, I'm passionate about this, but there's nothing wrong with investing at all. But who knows? That could be your next venture.
That's true.
That could be your next passion. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean you have to stick with one thing. Everyone changes every 7 years.
Yeah.
You might have a different passion, different love, or different whatever. But things change in every 7 years. Just be true to yourself and don't be afraid to try. But just really reflect on if this is what you want to do, because the moment you become like a jack of all trades, it's like you'll never be a master of one thing. You'll always just try to dip, and when does it ever stop?
You have like so many I feel like, because there's so much out there.
There's so much out there. There's so much to do. We get caught up on social media because, this person's making a lot of money on this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yo, stay on track.
Yeah.
But it's not wrong to learn about these things, but focus on your main thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You're right. Social media, you see all these different kinds of things.
Yeah.
And you want to try investing, you want to
Yeah.
try this,
Yeah.
you want to try that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also believe that it's super important to try, because if you don't try. Then you won't know.
Yeah.
All
I'm saying, like, trying is nothing wrong. Like, you could be that person that's still trying to figure out, like, what you want to do in life. There's nothing wrong with it. But try, but make sure when you try, you put your 100%. Don't just try and be like, oh, shoot, I had a bad day. Oh, okay, what else can I do? Like,
you'll give up way too easily.
Yeah, but everyone says it takes 10,000 hours to master your craft or be a master at something, right?
Do you feel like you put in 10,000 hours at this point?
In barbering?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even more than
50,000 hours.
Even more than 10,000 hours.
Yeah. Well, you built such a successful business, and like, what would you say is something that sets you apart? Because I feel like, even for myself, I've been a client of yours for a long time.
Yeah.
And at first it was like, you're nearby.
Yeah.
But, because I love what you do and I love the space that you created, I don't mind driving a little bit further out,
Yeah.
Is there anything that you did that you planned to set yourself different from anybody else, or really just providing that service?
Providing that service, giving a good service, but also building a good relationship with your clients. People will have those days where they're tired or whatever, but like most of the clients that I have that come in the shop, like I'm excited to see them, and I think for me I wasn't too worried about marketing too much, because I built good clientele around Montreal, and I wouldn't say I'm the busiest barber, but I'm busiest enough where, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But with every client that I have, I would say I have great relationships with them, and they're basically my billboard.
Word of mouth.
So word of mouth. You give them a good service, you have a good relationship, and you just let them talk about you if they choose to. But 100%, like, if you do give a good service and you have a good relationship with them, all they will do is just talk good about you.
Yeah.
and yeah, that's.
I feel like people underestimate word of mouth, especially now that
Yeah.
we go back to social media because it's such a great tool.
It is.
But word of mouth is the most powerful thing.
Word of mouth is a most powerful thing, but there's nothing wrong with adding marketing
Of course.
you know, like it adds a lot, you know, and that's something I'm lacking to in business. You know, I'm still trying to figure things out, even though people think like, oh, he has a successful business. Like, yeah, I'm doing good right now, but
There's always room to
there's
grow.
always room to grow. There's always room to grow.
And would you expand your team? Would you hire maybe somebody for social media, or are you trying to really do it yourself?
Eventually, I would. I just have to figure out what kind of content I really want to create. So I'm dipping myself into creating content for myself and just dabbing here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, when I do really need the help, yeah, I would say if it makes sense for your business,
Mm-hmm.
hire people
The time is
to make
right.
to make the work easier for yourself.
And are you somebody who like believes in reinvesting in yourself? So like, have you taken courses to better off your craft or such?
Absolutely, yeah. I've taken workshops. I mean, because of COVID, we had to lay low for a bit. Like I would have attended so many seminars. But yeah, you should always try to be better, work on your craft, learn more. Especially in the barber industry, it's like people think like there's too much ego in it. You know, sometimes you got to let that ego go and just go learn from someone else, because you'll never know what they'll bring in. You know, like for yourself, like you're an amazing dancer. Like we see you on TikTok, you're amazing, but what I admire about you is that you still take other workshops. You learn other people's craft. You learn other styles, but that also benefits you also. It adds into what you're currently doing.
Absolutely.
And not even that, the relationships you build with other people that teach, that do big workshops, right?
Absolutely. I think, I don't know if people underestimate it, but networking is like, I feel like networking has a bad connotation to it. And like, you know, the way that you're speaking to this subject is so perfect. And you talk about the relationships that you genuinely build with your clients. You know, you don't go into, when somebody comes on your chair, you're not like, how can I learn about mortgages from this guy in a certain way, right? You just like, you have a genuine relationship with the person, and that turns into something more.
Yeah.
Would you say you're more introverted or extroverted?
I think I'm a hybrid.
Okay.
A bit of both, because there's times where I do want to be left alone and just be in my own bubble, and there's sometimes where I feed off other people's energy. I just, it depends on the state that I'm in and what I feel like feeding off of from. But I would say I'm more extrovert than introvert. But there are times where I just need my own space. And yeah, because you could catch me in a room with a lot of people, but sometimes I'll just be quiet.
Yeah.
Like I won't even talk.
You'd be like, this is my moment to be. Are you somebody who's very like a creature of habit? Do you like your schedule, your morning routine if you have one?
Yes. I would believe so. I am a creature of habit, but also like I'm a human being. Like I fell off of it a bit, but I like to have things planned.
Yeah. What are like 3 things that you like to incorporate in your morning routine that helps you set yourself up for the day?
Have my coffee first of all. Vitamins, breakfast, gym. I always try to make sure I go to the gym in the morning.
In the morning.
First, take the dog out for a walk. And yeah, just that's my morning routine. I would say that would keep me energized. Oh, and cold showers.
Cold showers?
I've been taking cold showers for the past like 3 years. Like
every morning.
Every morning.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does that do for you? Because I've seen it a little bit here and then, but
it really wakes you up.
Okay.
Like, I know there's a lot of health benefits, but the reason why I like taking cold showers is because it's a challenge. Because I know people won't do it, so I'll do it. You know, I just like, I'm like probably the 1% that takes cold showers.
Sick.
So and not only that, it's because it wakes me up also.
Yeah.
Like, it gets me going. But the fact there, I'm already challenging myself. So what I would do is I would brush my teeth in the shower. So I know that brushing my teeth would take like 4 or 5 minutes, right? So I have to stay in that cold shower for like 4 or 5 minutes.
That's smart. You associated the two.
Yeah.
Wow. If not, you're going to have stanky breath. You're going to get out of there.
Yeah, that too. But it wakes me up, man. It gave me my first challenge of the day.
Wow. What made you want to start doing that? And how cold are your showers? Those are my 2 questions right now.
So in the winter is the worst. It's like hella cold. to the max.
Okay.
Full to the max.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my, and what made you want to start doing that? You saw it online?
I saw it online. I saw the benefits. I saw it puts you in a good mood. And it just keeps you energized. And yeah, and it works out your brain also. You know, it's telling you, like, it helps you with your breathing also. So it just tells you, like,
wow.
Okay, like,
calm down. But eventually it just becomes a habit. Like nowadays, I'll feel that little cold, but like I could just brush. Really?
Yeah.
Because you're just so used to it.
I'm so used to it. Yeah.
Wow. And do you have an evening routine by any chance?
Come home and just hang out with the girlfriend, man. And because it's different when you live with someone also, right? It's not where like you're living with your parents and like, you know, you wait till the weekend to hang out with your girlfriend.
Okay, yeah.
You know, so I actually just spend time with my girlfriend, chill out, and have that time with her, and then just do my own thing, whether it be scheduling my next day, looking at clients. And I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes I just do that right away when I get home, where I should be like going to my girlfriend and be like, hey babe, like, how are you? How's your day? You know, sometimes I feel guilty of that, but that's what we should do. Just, if you're living with your girl, go say hi to them, girl or guy, go say hi to them, make sure that they're okay, have that small conversation, and just acknowledge they're present, and then do your own thing.
Yeah, don't go straight into your room.
Don't go straight. So that'd be my routine. Just hang out with her, have dinner, watch some TV, and then just, yeah, and then later save maybe 30 minutes to an hour of just planning my next day.
Your next day?
Yeah.
Do you do that every night? Like plan out how your next day is
I'm not
gonna
gonna
work?
lie, I don't do that every night. Like, I'm trying to do that every night. So it's trying to build that habit again of doing it.
Are you somebody who plans out? Like, I know I like to plan out my week.
Yeah.
Like, from one day. Do you like to just plan out your next day, or do you like to plan out the week in advance?
I like to plan out the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just tell myself, like, okay, this is what's going on. But I'll also just, I bought a journal. It has every point what you should check out. Like, what did you do?
Physical journal?
Physical journal.
Nice.
Like, did you accomplish it? So that's what I want to follow right now. And just, and it just tells you, like, oh, how was your day? Did it go as you expected? Blah, blah, blah.
Cool.
And yeah.
Nice. Would you say, actually, on the note of like buying tools that kind of help you in your success, would you say that there's a purchase of about $100 or less that, you know, anybody can make that has impacted you?
If you, sorry, your question is?
A purchase of $100 or less that has helped you in any way, whether it's like vitamins, a book, or course.
Oh, yeah. Like, sometimes you don't even need to spend money to actually be productive. If you have a pen and paper at home, that could get you started right away. You know, like, that's the thing that we get caught up sometimes too, that we think we need something to do something. Like, oh, I need this. And I'm guilty of it too. Like, I got into cycling. Oh, I need the best bike or whatever. But like, I'm getting into photography. I'm looking at these $3,500 cameras. But like, why?
Like, do you really need it?
Do I really need it? No, I don't. But yeah, sometimes relax, use what you have now, and just use your creativity. And you don't need to buy that best thing or whatever.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true.
We're all guilty of it.
Yeah, and we have our phones, especially when it comes to cameras and such, or like posting on social media. As long as you have that, like, you can film and upload right away.
Yeah.
Speaking of social media, is there anywhere where anybody can reach you?
Yeah, so my barber account, Grainy Fade.
Grainy Fade?
Yeah. You could catch me on there. My barbershop page, Monsieur Troy, and my personal account. But yeah.
Sick, bro. Yeah. Awesome. Hey, listen,
man.
I appreciate you for coming on.
Awesome. Thanks
and
for
I
having
hope
me.
people come see you and get a cut. That's where I got my cut from.
Yes, sir.
So check it out.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, brother. That was dope, bro.
Yeah, man.
That was fire.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man, for coming, for real.